So do you like Lego? Do you like... Well, that's good, because I was going to do another video on the Razor Crest, because I wanted to do 5 more mods. However... So yeah, I guess the better question is, do you like?
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Well, that's good, because today we're modding the 501st Battle Pack, as this is a really popular set, and I think it could do with a few improvements. If I'm totally honest, I didn't see the hype about this set when it first came out, but I must say, actually now owning the set, I can see why it's such a well-sought-after set, because it's a really good set, especially for the price point that it is. The minifigures are pretty damn sick, and you get to build 2 armies, a 501st Legion as well as a droid army. And even though we get no builds for the battle droids, I think the builds that they decided to go with the 501st Legion are actually pretty damn good as well. Even if they're not minifig scale. But as good as the set is, you can totally see that some areas were neglected, especially in the cannon department, if you know what I mean. So with this knowledge, it's only right to go ahead and make some modifications ourselves and see if we can improve the set overall. So jumping right in, you can see that I have taken the stud shooter off of this AT-RT. I don't understand why LEGO decide to just replace all guns with stud shooters now. It seems like they do that with the majority of their sets, and I don't understand why. Especially on this model, it just does not look right and does not look like the source material at all. Speaking of the source material, I've gone ahead and built this gun. It is a much larger cannon, arguably a bit too big, but I was trying to do these modifications with parts I already had, so I might swap this out for a smaller cannon at a later date, but for now this gives the look that I want, and it still keeps all of the range of motion that I would like in this kind of cannon. Moving on to the second modification, now I think this bike is a pretty damn good representation of the bike that the 501st Legion drove. I think in terms of a playset, it's a perfect size, but in terms of minifig scale, I think it could have been a little bit smaller. But that's not what we're talking about now. Right now, we're talking about a image that I saw on Google of a little stretcher bed attached to the bike, and I'm not sure if this has been in any sort of game, or I certainly didn't see it in the film. I just thought it was a cool concept, so I ran with it, and I have made this little thing, and it's like a little bed that attaches to the underside of the bike, just using those really cool bracket pieces, and it puts a little bed on the side of the bike so the clone can transport a downed clone. I don't know if this is canon, but it's cool nonetheless, and I think this is a cool mod that you could certainly do to your bike if you have multiple of these sets and you want to change up some of the builds, as I know a lot of people buy these sets and they just don't want to build the builds, so having alternatives could be really cool. Moving on, I think the third mod is one of my favorites. It's nice and simple, but really effective, and I actually got inspired for this one from the Harry Potter Quidditch set, and some of you can probably see where I'm going with it. The 501st Jet Trooper that you get with this, it's a shame that he didn't come with one of these clear translucent pieces just to make him elevate off of the ground. He's a jet trooper. I don't know why LEGO didn't include this, but as you can see, I've made a little stand attached to one of these clear pieces and just gave him some studs on the back of his legs to make it look like he is flying around, and it's a really nice way to display this figure, especially when you are displaying it next to something like the AT-RT and them being similar heights. I think it's just one of those things that completes the look for this set, and I don't understand why LEGO didn't include this in the set, but it's an easy modification to do. I'd probably use a dish piece on the bottom here instead of a jumper like I've done, but like I say, trying to do this with pieces that I have, and I didn't have one of those spare. So if you're ordering pieces, especially with this little mod, you can go ahead and just do that. I think the dish piece would work so much better. And then moving on, I was going to stop here, and then I thought to myself that, hey, it leaves one clone not doing anything, and this kind of looks a bit strange, so I decided to make one of those little turrets that you see in most battle packs these days, mainly because just then this clone would have something to do, and I could make it a top 5 instead of a top 3. But like I say, this is just thrown together from some of the pieces that I had left over from other sets, or just my general collection, and you can see that I've got him on a little mounted shooter, and I've actually incorporated some stud shooters into this because I feel like it looks better than just trying to put a stud shooter on a main cannon. I think this is what stud shooters were really made for, and they just seem to shoehorn them into every set for no reason, especially those gun stud shooters. I don't understand why they include that in battle packs. I don't understand if it's a play feature genuinely there because the designers thought, hey, these guys need guns. Like, why don't you just include the normal cool looking guns, or just include both? Anyway, stud shooter rant off to the side now. This is a cool looking turret, and I really like it. It's something for the clone to do, and just completes the look of a whole set now, and I really believe that you guys should do something very much the same. It's a nice little build here, and I don't think it needs instructions. You could probably work out how I've done it. I will give instructions if you can't work it out, if enough of you want them. And before we get into the last point here, I want to include some honorable mentions. I think that Wicked Bricks and sites like Game of Bricks and Light My Bricks should be mentioned in this video. Like I say, I am not sponsored by these guys. However, these guys do awesome lighting kits and display cases for sets like the 501st Legion. So if you want to protect or light up your sets, I recommend those guys. They're the same guys I've used. And now moving on to the last point. Now, this is not necessarily a modification, but I have made a minifig scale version of these based on some designs that I have seen on the internet, as well as taking my own sort of creative juices and throwing them in there. Now, this is a ATRT as well as one of the speeders, exactly like you would get in the 501st Battle Pack. Now, obviously, because it's minifig scale, you're using a significantly less amount of pieces. However, they are still rarer pieces, so it will probably cost you the same if you're buying these from somewhere like Bricklink. So I think these are really only for the most dedicated 501st fan, hence why I haven't built it just yet. But let me know whether you would like to see a video on this as a set. If I was to purchase the pieces and make them, would you guys like to see it compared to the actual 501st set? You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments below. And speaking of the comments below, let me know, are you going to do any of these modifications to your 501st Battle Pack? Or do you think that the set is fine just as is? The Razor Crest video is now full of comments on what you guys wanted to do, and you guys have even sent me pictures of your Razor Crest with the modifications done. So I'd love to see if you guys are thinking about modding it, to tag me on Instagram at TommyCBricks, or just let me know what you think in the comments below. But that's been this video, guys. If you guys have enjoyed, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe button for more 501st modification and just in general LEGO videos. Make sure you're hitting that bell as well so you get notified whenever I put out a video. And remember to hit that first link in the description to join the Discord so you can talk to me and a bunch of other people who really enjoy LEGO. I think I've pretty much covered everything, so I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.